Hi everyone, welcome to the Advancement Centre and welcome to the world of magic and miracles. Once again, we step up a little further into the new year and take on some of those spare energies that are floating around that came in to greet us in the early hours of the new year. We can try to describe them, but basically it's a feeling of relief and a feeling of excitement of what's coming next. That, based on everything we've done up to date, gives us a new opening to be able to go into development in areas that we've never seen before. As I wrote this morning, I was introduced to the new world called the world of development, where a complete awareness of almost everything produces a knowing that has all the answers to everything all the time. So that all-knowing awareness brings you to a different place altogether. It's a whole new world in the same environment that you're in now. But what it does is it gives you all the answers before you even have to think about it. If you're game enough to take that on, it's there for everyone. And all you have to know is that it's there. Decisions, confusion, questions, advice all disappear. Because as you approach everything, you have that all-knowing that tells you exactly what you're supposed to be looking at for your particular life. And you know without question. This ability is totally new in this world. But it came in the new year as part of what was promised, so that you all can decide to move past everything or stay where you are. But I can assure you that if you take on that ability to know everything, and you don't try to prove it to yourself or to anyone else, it will serve you forever. The fact that you don't have to prove it just brings a big smile to your face, because you know exactly what you're supposed to do, why and how. And you don't have to ask anybody, or get approval, or even say, I know I'm right. Because that all-knowing takes you into a development that allows you to actually use what was given to you, to use what is brought to you each day in the world, and to use what is brought from other planets and from other worlds, without asking a question, because it is in front of you all the time. But as you take on the fact that it's true, it will be totally reliable, and you do not have to procrastinate, wonder, hope, or anything. It's all in front of you. You just keep stepping forward, and you won't step on anything or anyone. So this new gift is on top of all the other gifts. And in what I wrote, all they said was, all we've done is given you another box of tricks. We've opened the lid and let the sparkles come out. to attract everybody and take them to where they can follow those sparkles, their own unique ones, to wherever they've got to go in their life. It also takes you to everything beyond what you've seen now, to where all the efforts that you've put in actually turn into something positive. In saying that, it means that the world of magic and miracles is totally active in your world, and that your capability doesn't depend on any laws of nature, of the universe, or of anything. It depends on what you take on and deliver to the world, which can be a total miracle, can be totally opposite to all the rules, and totally opposite to the rules of science. So as we start to experiment with scientific stuff, I call it stuff because there's no words for it, we can actually bring our magic in that has no words and make things appear that shouldn't. Make phenomena happen that shouldn't happen. And make everybody's life so beautiful that they can't do anything but smile. So now in this new era, we can honestly say that we're walking on a cloud. We're walking above everything. And we're delivering whatever comes into our field. Not through our mind, not through our body, but through all the senses that feed both. These senses that everybody's tried to capture and give names to keep growing. And so every time you give something a name, it's outdated. Every time you say, I've figured this out, that's outdated. But if you're on the front edge, it's like being at the front of the wave. From another perspective, the wave looks enormous and dangerous. From where you are, it's the perfect spot that gives you the exhilaration you need in every second of your life. So we're probably talking about things that you've never heard of before. But in your feeling, you know that is the ultimate. But it doesn't finish there. It keeps going. It's a dynamic situation that increases and increases and increases. And if it doesn't take your breath, nothing will. We're now putting ourselves out in front for everything and everyone to actually see. And the feeling that you used to have of being overexposed is about to go away. The more we expose ourselves, the further out we get on the front of the wave. The greater our achievements and the better we enjoy ourselves. Listening to all sorts of things can instigate whatever you want. But speaking about them, it's done. So as you speak about all the things that come to you, as you speak about your experiences, or what you're going to do, or you sing, or you dance, or you display what you build, you are actually achieving the development of the world of development. And you can feel the energy of it, and you can feel it's a whole new thing for each one of us. It's uplifting, and it continues to be that way. And all the past will actually take on a different light because you've stepped out of one place into another. The future is where we're going. The future is in front of us, and it continues to be in front of us. And it's that vision of what's in front of us that allows us to take on all the signals and move left, right, up, down, forward, backward, whichever way we need to achieve the path that is most suitable to each one of us. As we get together, you'll find that we enhance one another's abilities and we enhance one another's feeling of development. And the all-knowing that you see in everybody's eyes is actually coming to the forefront. And the respect that we have for that knowing in each person, as individual as it is what carries it further, what carries it into the next phase of everyone's life. So it's congratulations to everyone to make it this far and to actually be in a position where you can step freely without any disruption into a world that will continue your development without any effort at all. There's no need to get used to anything. There's no need to change. As you step forward, it all happens. And as you keep stepping forward, more happens. And you're held in so many fields that it's thrilling to your physical being. The movement of those fields will continue, and they will continue to build your stability in this world and other worlds and everything associated with it. There's never been a time when we could all say, well, if there's a miracle needed, I better do one. But we all can. And we're all doing it. Now they're starting to become more visible around everyone's life, and they're going to extend further and further, because it's time for the world that we live in and the earth that we live on to enhance itself. And because of that, we are able to do the same. But none of it could happen unless we stepped forward, unless we allowed interaction with other beings, other planets, and other dimensions. And we've done that. And we've prevented many so-called disasters, and will continue to do so. Our world will settle, and it will take on that big smile that we know it should have. The one that's in the hearts of everyone. And the one that we developed because we could. So now, as we listen to all the signals that come our way, we will be able to speak of things that we've never spoken of before. We'll be able to achieve things we've never achieved before. And we'll be able to say, well, I think I'll change that. And it will change. Because none of us are running up against one another, we're all interacting to enhance one another, it all works. There's no thought in any of it. It's just like a reflex action, the dance of the universe. And each one of you, bringing it to light as you move into this new year and step into that great gift that you've always known is yours, and it's called you. The further you step in there, the greater you are, and the greater the world can be around you. So now, On top of that, we have a mass of developments that are bringing special people into our lives. People that we've never seen or met before. And just then the door blew open. And it doesn't do that normally. So we're getting so much coming into our world and into our life that it keeps us busy and excited and doing new things all the time. Our interactions with one another are improving immensely because we don't run into one another. And we celebrate everything that everybody does, no matter what the reason. So as I walk further on my path, I watch everybody just rising up and walking further on their path without even concentrating. I'm fully aware of everybody. And this I can feel happening with everyone. You're fully aware of the fact that everybody's starting to really go well. Even if they've got difficulties in their life, they are going well. And the difficulties will disappear this year, without a doubt, because it's been known for thousands of years that this is the time when everything comes in line with harmony and peace. We're now leading the way, and we don't have to even worry about what we do, except live well and enjoy everything and love one another as we have never loved before. Just as Simeon always says, this is the most prominent part of our life, and it is the power and the will of your Creator, of your God, of whoever you look to. That will is in your hands to do with what you know you can do with. It's infinite and it's powerful. It's endless and it never gives up. And so as you follow your own spirit, you're actually leading the way for the world and for every world. You've stepped up in the universal standard to lead the way. And in doing that, you will achieve the impossible with the blink of an eye, without struggle and without even thinking about it. So nobody can really say exactly what's going to happen tomorrow. But we all know. It's there in front of us. We have that knowing. We can smile about it. We don't know the exact movements or the exact location we might even be in. But we know it's something we have full knowledge of. And by having that full knowledge, you can do slight adjustments. If it feels a little off, you just change the feeling. This is what generates your approach into the future. It is so simple, and if you feel right, so does the future. If you don't feel right, change it, so does the future change. If there's a sense of anything that's an imbalance, you just reach out and move it so it's balanced. you can physically put things in the right place, even if they're in the future. So a few moments of standing and feeling how you are and going, this should be here. That's better, that should be there. That can be a bit more space there. You change the future. This is your skill. This is how you connect with all the senses that have just been heightened for this year. All your senses are so high now that you can feel anything you want anywhere if you wish. At the same time, you know, before you even say a word, that it's going to come out wrong. And you can make it come out right. You can feel the patterns around you moving, and you go, no, that one needs to be there, and this one needs to be a little bit wider, and now if I present that, that'll suit everybody. So a fraction of a second of delay that I spoke about once before will service you way into the future, because all your senses take over and bring it to balance before you have to step into anything that's out of balance. So as you go to think about something, just give yourself a couple of seconds and watch it happen. Don't act on it. If you go to say something, a millisecond delay is enough for it to change and fit perfectly for everyone. And the magic that's behind you is such that you can say a set of words and they'll be heard differently by each person, because they'll be formatted to suit everything in that person's life, or even the mode they're in at the time. We're moving into a gentle time where we all know the person we're associated with knows exactly what we know, but in their world. And we respect what they see, what they feel. It's not a perspective anymore. It's real. Each one for everyone is totally real. It's not a perspective about one picture. It's every picture that makes up the universal dynamic picture of everyone's life. So now I am so interested in hearing from everyone about what they're doing, about what they're playing with, rather than the other way around. And I think it's coming that way. We're all set up to present people in their way that they want to be presented. And from next week, we'll start to do that. We'll start to present not just me, but other people, to talk to you in the way that you want to hear. Not from a different perspective, but from a whole different dimension, and from a whole unique world that belongs to each individual. So we're going forward in a big production that everyone will be involved in. So advancement will be advancement for each individual. So this new world we walked into in development will actually support the development of every individual in every part of the world. We'll start to bring this forward here, and then we'll increase the media access. We'll start to increase the interaction via camera, via whatever, so that we can all watch a presentation like this any time of the day, anywhere in the world. It's because of this new advancement that we're able to say it's time. And as people start to interact without any other thought but enhancing one another's lives, you will see a growth that's never been seen on any planet ever. We promised we would do this, and this is how we bring our gifts to the world. And I remember many years ago there was a film called The Greatest Show on Earth. And it was about a circus. Well, we're probably the best circus you'll ever find. So we're going to top that. And we'll be the greatest show on earth. Because we can see it in our future. It's not a thought, and it's not anything that you can buy from anywhere. This is what we brought here, and this is what we're going to present to the world. Every step of the way will be supported. And everything we need to maintain everybody's position, we will find. And we'll find a way to support not only your inner advancement feelings, but support your everyday life by making sure that you have everything else that's needed for your world, for your life, physically, financially, the whole lot. So we're stepping out there and we're taking on the tasks that we said we'd take on. This time, we will totally succeed. And this time has started now. So everybody's input is what's needed. The mass movement of our spirit into that great entity that can support us all is underway. So in congratulating you all, there was much more in it than what you thought. There's a future growth for you, your family, those who are coming after us, those who have gone before us. This is the time for the result of everybody's effort in every world. And so as we go to a little break, I'll leave you with the massive thing that you know you are supposed to be involved in. It's enormous. It has no end. It's dynamic, it's continually growing, and it belongs to each person. It doesn't belong to a group, and it doesn't belong to everyone. It belongs to each individual person. And the fact that each individual person in their own world enhances every other person without even feeling it is what we're going to use to bring this mass alive and to make it a reality in this physical world. So I'll leave you for 5 minutes and we'll be back to kick it around a little bit further. Thank you. So welcome back. I hope everybody got a little feel of the size of what we're taking on. But I think it's time for everyone to get that feeling and actually go with it and see that the signals and the messages that come to you are much clearer than you've ever decided to take notice of. As soon as those inputs come into your field, they're transmitted directly to your operating system and not to your brain. So the sudden feeling that you have to do something is more important than the thought of what is it. If you move before you think, your thoughts will follow. Remember, where we've just headed is into something that's extremely dynamic. It doesn't convert easily to thought. It converts easily to movement and feeling and response without reaction. If you feed it into your brain, there's a sense of reaction because there's no movement. So this is why there's movement with music, there's movement with dance. There's movement with most things you enjoy, because it allows the transference of that movement into a thought flow, not a fixed thought. So the dynamic movement in your body, your hands, your eyes, anything, will transpose those messages straight into the continued motion of your body that will generate the smile on your face and the agreed thought patterns that follow. If you stand and wait and say, I have to think about this, or I'm not sure about this, then you get a reaction and you get a fixed pattern thought that doesn't want to go away. So as all the signals come to you, remember, the slightest move, a little smile, an action, or even a comment to a friend will start the flow in the correct direction. Even if you said the wrong thing, it will come straight back and reverse you. It's foolproof. We are looked after by so many things that you cannot understand. The simplicity of going with the knowing by movement, not by fixed thought, is all you have to know. So you will start to wonder about something, and then if you move, it will disappear into knowing. Because the signal will move through your system, and you will know, wow, what I thought of is not it at all, or I have to go right now because I'm going to meet with somebody in 3 hours' time and I'm going to be in that place, but I don't know where it is. You can be led as far as you like, and as far as you like into the future, for the synchronicities to come together that you never thought were possible. So to have a fixed picture of what you want is nice, but you should put it on the shelf until it's a reasonable thing to have. Because it's like saying, I would like to drive to the country. Well, then you go to drive. If you say, I would love to be in the country, well, then your brain reacts and says, I'm not in the country, there's something wrong. And it leaves that separation there that you have to get over before you can go there. Where we are right now is in a position to step across that and agree with ourselves that we're right. Once you agree with yourself that you're right, no matter what you do, will turn out right. Even though it may seem wrong to others initially, it will turn out right. Because that's how you instigate the program of simplicity that uses magic and miracles. It doesn't care if you got it wrong. It's going to turn out right. And most times, the things you figure out are wrong anyway, because they have insufficient information. They don't know what can be done by a miracle. They don't know what can be done by the magic of another person, or by the interaction that's happening every day. The elements are positive. We are the only ones that can make them negative. So if you go with the elements and you move physically, you will never know how to make anything negative, because the flow will produce the thought flow that's in tune with the elements, which are positive. And that will bring a smile to your face, brightness to your eyes, an enormous glow to your being, and a feeling of well-being that you wouldn't believe. So this is where we're heading. This is where many of us are. But the interaction between one another has actually taken the place of the interaction between ourselves and ourselves. That part of us that needs interaction, we put to one side. Because thought was brought into play rather than action. So if you're sitting and you feel a little down, just move. Interact with any elements at all. You'll find the birds will come around, the butterflies, the beauty, the flowers, everything will come alive because of that little bit of movement. And this is how it works. That flow, combined with the elements, makes humans positive all the time. And in a positive mode, nothing is impossible. This takes the place of everything. This is the flow of the infinite energy and of the infinite everything that flows through us, around us, and in everything around us. We don't have to train to learn how to use it. We just have to remember it's dynamic. And if we're dynamic, it will come alongside us. It will flow, and it will bypass everything negative in everybody's life. It sounds like a massive secret, but it's not. You watch a person who has that brilliance about them. They're continually moving. They're continually excited. They're continually animated. So every time you feel a signal, you hear a signal, you move and you'll get the message. And it doesn't have to be delivered to your brain. You'll feel it, you'll smile, you'll know that it went all the way past and into your main operating system. So as we get the interplay of people from other worlds, of people from other dimensions, of people from other towns, other cities, we will feel the massive difference in each signal. But if you start to move with each one, or you respond with an inflection or a wow or ooh, it will light up. And you will know that you're in communication with someone and something that is totally positive, totally for you, and in the perfect balance that's delivered by your Creator. As we start to interact and we get more people talking on camera, you will see that the great cross-section of who we are is our greatest joy. The brilliance of each person is so different that it must be displayed. If it's not displayed, we will be like we used to be, able to be herded up as a species, put in the one box and controlled. But if you follow your signals, follow the movement, follow that animated part of you, you will catapult yourself into the world of development that fully supports all development of all sorts and gives you that awareness and knowing, I call it all knowing, that you know belongs to you. The fact that it comes in and it seems like another person when it's actually you will be surpassed very quickly, because as the signals come, you realize there's another part of you communicating with you, or you realize there's another part of you communicating with somebody else. And as you invite them all together, you will start moving, and you will start to make that movement the very thing that creates a positive interaction at a million different levels at once. Now, we're going a bit fast for a lot of people, but I know you're all way past where you think you are. You understand all this, you know how to do everything. You know how to communicate with 1,000 people at once, individually. You know how to communicate and connect with anybody you want, providing there's a little bit of motion that maintains the dynamic movement. Your brain won't get in the road. So if you wanted to connect with somebody in a specific place, you don't think about it, you go there. And as soon as you do that, you're there. And it's nothing to do with your mind. It's to do with the fact that you're everywhere and you can move there in less than the blink of an eye. So every one of you are progressing, but you're not progressing along the line that you thought you were. You're not progressing from being no good to maybe good. You're progressing from brilliant to massive brilliance. From enormous to monstrous in all areas. The fact that you told yourself you're not good enough, you always knew it was rubbish. Or I can't do that, you also know that's rubbish, you just don't want to. So as you start to receive signals, you will also receive that package that you need to allow you to do it without any effort at all. Without thought, without wondering, can I? Without, is my balance good enough? You'll just do it. Because that package that comes has everything in it. Providing you allow it to be dynamic and you don't try to capture it. You try to capture a 30-foot wave in the ocean, you're not going to be very successful. But you can ride a 30-foot wave and feel the beauty of the dynamic movement and the thrill and the rush that tells you, I'm safe, I'm enjoying, I'm part of nature, I'm working with the elements, and I've turned on that sensitivity that tells me how to do it. I know which wave's coming next, I know when to get off the wave, because the elements are talking to me. In everything you do, if there's that dynamic movement, the elements will talk to you. If you're walking amongst the trees and you decide to be brighter than the trees will get brighter again. And they'll talk to you. And they'll tell you there's nothing wrong with you. And they'll take away all pain, all crazy thoughts, and put them back in the earth where they came from. The beauty of a hummingbird sitting in front of you and communicating, it's amazing. And if you're dynamic and allow yourself to join the bird, you'll feel the communication. So there's so much to enjoy in every part of your life. I could go on for hours and hours and hours, because remembering really that I had another chance in this world at this time, I can never forget that I can't do anything that's the same as I did the first time around. Why would you want to muck up your life twice? Why would you want to do the things that don't work? Why would you? Goes on. Until you get to a point of just living life beyond anything you've ever known. And when I say dare to do something, it's a little strange, but that brings into light the fact that we've built all these hidden rules within ourselves, and we've called them all sorts of things, even fear. So you dare to break the rule, your own rule, and it disappears. You dare to step out, and you do, and it works. And everybody claps and says, that was beautiful. So there's only that little thing of grabbing a fixed set of thoughts, which will totally disappear if you stay with that dynamic movement. If you find yourself settled at any time, just stir the moment up, either with your hands, the flick of your tail, whatever. Just stir it up, and movement will happen. Everything that's stale turns into positive. So the greatest thing we've got from here on in is to know that that's all belongs to us. That ability to move and respond to signals. And because we know that, we will release all the signals and allow the thing that we called emotion to actually be the 10 million signals that come and go from your body. Just because you don't know the word for them, don't call it emotion. If you feel it, you respond with movement, it will be positive. If you define it as emotion, it goes straight into your brain and reacts. So you end up with lots of emotional reaction to all the things that are allowing you to connect to the universe, to the elements, to everything that we know we can't see. We're about to bring all the unseen into the seen world. And to do that, you have to have all your signals running. We're about to talk to one another in different ways and bring together that greatest show on earth for everyone to be involved in and for everyone to continue to enjoy over the next 4,000, 5,000 years or more. So when I talk about these things, I get a little bit excited because I know it, and I know it backwards. It's where I come from. It's where I expect you'll all be. In that beautiful dance of not just the universe, of everything and everyone. At the tiniest little thing. Just the smallest thing in your life is a gift. And when you think it's been taken away, it hurts. So allow them to keep flowing. Allow the gifts to keep coming. And don't hold on. Allow it to keep pouring into your life so that you're in a moving stream rather than in a pond that can go stale. So allow that movement and be dynamic yourself. And be aware, because the awareness comes from that world of all-knowing, where every signal goes directly into yourself, not through your brain. Goes into all the cells, goes into all the signals that come into your being. We've got a small way to go, not much. Just that little step to the place where we don't want to come back from. So that we can then maintain a connection between that place of beauty and this place of beauty. This place of beauty is the earth. People can say what they like about it, but it is probably the most significant place in the universe, where we can enjoy and display who we are without fear and without destruction. So now we have all that in our hands, and all the aspects that were interfered with are now back in place. Every field is refined, and every interaction works perfectly. So there is no advice, let's just live. And live with us and enjoy living with us all, because our interaction is what generates the field, or the resultant of the fields, that holds our well-being and holds our future. And I must add that it supports the magic and miracles that we're made of. So many will start to produce these miracles of all sorts, no matter how small they are, so that we can all talk about them and keep doing it. Not doing the same as anybody else, but sparkling one another into states that are unforgettable, and it cannot be taken over by anything outside our field. So now we're getting close to the end, but I've got to say, it's so good to feel everybody's interaction, to feel their acceptance, and to know that this is not going to go away. We're all here to stay, and we're about to move forward. So thank you all so much. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll be back to see you next week. Thank you.